this July was the hottest ever recorded on Earth. Elaine Cobb, CBS News.
Here in the U.S., United Auto Workers could strike plants at midnight, key to the Big Three's most profitable cars and trucks. The union's Tommy Patrick.
We went through recessions, we went through bankruptcies with this company, and they've taken and we've never gotten anything back.
WWJ's Jeff Gilbert has more.
As they near tonight's midnight deadline, UAW President Shawn Fain will lay out which plants they will strike first. That, he says, allows the union to ratchet up the pressure and ratchet it up as little or as much as they need.
An all-out strike is still a possibility. We're keeping all of our options open.
Fain says talks are making progress, but they remain far from an agreement. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
The U.S. will sanction more foreign companies and individuals today for allegedly shipping American tech to Russia. CBS's Cami McCormick.
These latest sanctions will include Turkish companies and individuals, accusing them of helping Russia evade sanctions. It comes at a delicate time for U.S.-Turkey relations, but Washington has issued repeated warnings, and multiple U.S. officials have traveled to Turkey since Russia's invasion of Ukraine to apply pressure to companies there to observe U.S. sanctions.
This is CBS News.
Exergen thermometers are fast, non-invasive, clinically accurate, and available for medical and home use. Find Exergen thermometers at Walmart and Walgreens. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Good morning. This is Bill Krause on the Roundtable, having a wonderful Thursday morning. A little bit of fall in the air. Feels good. In fact, the evening is feeling great. We are so delighted to have with us this morning, sitting with our visitor chair, is Sarah Callender. And Sarah is the executive director of Main Street Murfreesboro. And a very, very interesting, very dedicated, very committed young lady who will be talking with us about today and tomorrow's downtown Murfreesboro. But Sarah, we always like to begin by finding out about where you were born, raised, and so forth. And I do want you to share with the audience, I love the story from your maiden name to your married name.
Oh. So, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I always love being on WGNS. I am originally from West Tennessee, and I start big. I say an hour north of Memphis, near Dyersburg, Halls, Tennessee. I have to go all the way.
One traffic light.
One traffic light in Lauderdale County. Grew up in the cotton fields. And yes, my maiden name is Weeks.
W-E-E-K-S. Just like
and then I married my, he was not my high school sweetheart, but he was a friend of mine since first grade, Nate Callender. And so now my name is Sarah Callender.
And for those of you who were listening to Bart before us, our attorney in town, John Day, was on broadcast this morning. So we had a day meet a weeks, which they both turned into a calendar.
Ba-dum-bum.
So you grew up in Western Tennessee, and then you came about 20-some years ago to
25 years ago. My husband was a student at MTSU, and so when I graduated from Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia, I moved here. We lived in married student housing on MTSU's campus.
Wow, and your husband's been associated with MTSU for all that period of time?
Yeah, he graduated, got his doctorate through UT Knoxville, and came back when a position opened. He's a professor in the aerospace department at MTSU.
Wow. And that's a growing field, and they're going to be opening up a new facility in Shelbyville.
That's right.
And hopefully we may, at least in Middle Tennessee, address the shortage of good pilots and shortage of related airline personnel right here in our home backyard.
Yes. They have a wonderful department over there.
Walk us through your professional life, your professional journey after graduation.
So I majored in communications, but I have always been in nonprofit. So
Great.
my first job was with the Boy Scouts of America out of
Really?
Nashville.
Ah,
I was the first female district executive for Rutherford County, the Trail of Tears district.
did you go out to New Mexico?
I did, actually. I went to Philmont for a training with Judge Corlew and somebody else. I forgot their name, but he was a volunteer. And we went out there for training. Beautiful area out there. And the
a
Boy
wonderful
Scouts, oh my
program.
goodness. They've changed so much since I was a district
Yes.
executive, but it is a wonderful program for the
And
youth.
from the Boy Scouts, you went to...
Yeah, after that, I mean, I had a couple of babies and
All
stayed
right.
at home for a while, did some teaching through Dyersburg State Community College when we lived in West Tennessee for a stint. And then got back into the nonprofit world with Special Kids Therapy and Nursing Center here in Murfreesboro.
Talk about that moment, even though you're here for another purpose.
Yeah.
I think the passion and commitment to that program is second to none.
Oh my goodness, they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, which this is my 25th anniversary with my husband. So I didn't realize that they
Congratulations.
started in '98, but Chris Truelove is the director over there, and the family that started Special Kids is just phenomenal. And they're Christian-based therapy center. They help children with special needs, birth to 21, do physical, occupational, speech therapy, but they have a nursing center for children to stay and get full-time nursing care during the day so that those parents can work. It's just a remarkable organization.
And one of the outgrowths of that is their support of parents.
Oh, yes. Respite care for parents, and just
Yes.
they work on a sliding scale. They don't turn anybody away, so if you want to get involved with an organization, that is a great one. They do a lot of fundraising events to raise money to help families who can't pay for nursing care.
Now, you became the executive director of Main Street Murfreesboro about 4 years ago.
That's right.
Talk about Main Street Murfreesboro. What is it? What comprises it? Its mission, its objective, its history,
Yeah.
its achievements?
So the Main Street organization is a national program, and
Okay.
it was started back in the 70s when urban sprawl was a huge thing and the squares were drying up and everybody was moving out to create malls. And so the National Historic Trust, this actually fell under that organization, and Main Street programs all over the country have to be accredited through the National Main Street Program. And Murfreesboro was one of the first 5
Really?
Main Street programs in Tennessee. We're probably one, if not the largest Main Street program right now, just because of how the city has grown. So we're celebrating 37 years
Wow.
of being an organization, and they've had about 5 district executive directors.
Scouts is
I
coming
know
through.
all the different titles.
No problem.
But when they first started, it was just a community effort through the mayor's office with the city and some great leaders in our community who wanted to save the square. And so they advocated, created this program, and they worked really hard on revitalizing the downtown, moving the power lines and updating the sidewalks and making it safer. And so a lot of construction happened because of the Main Street program, working with the city and advocating for the small businesses that were here, and then just making it a place that businesses wanted to come. So over the years, it has grown. It's, there was a stint of that revitalization just physically of the square, and then there was more of a promotional effort of bringing people downtown. So that's when they created a lot of events that we're still known for today, like the farmers market, and they created Jazz Fest and concerts on Friday
nights.
nights.
We'll be talking about tomorrow night in a few minutes.
Yes.
Which should be a big, big, big night for
I know, it's going to be
Murfreesboro
so
and Rutherford
fun.
County.
But after the promotion, when COVID hit, which is when I got the position, when I started at Main Street,
What a terrible time to start a job
Oh my
like
goodness!
that.
I started the summer before,
Summer of 19 or summer?
Yes, 19, and just was getting my feet wet and meeting all the business owners and government officials, and then COVID hit, and the whole national Main Street program pivoted to not be about events, but to be about small business owners, and that's where I have
survival.
Right, and that's where my focus has been.
And you're governed by a board of directors, 20 members?
There's 20 members. They're volunteers.
Do people join? Is there a membership process?
There is. We call it an investor.
An investor.
And so we send out letters and ask for donations at the end of the year. We have one fundraiser, Taste of Rutherford, in the summer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that brings in a couple hundred people, and we sell tickets to that, and so we raise money through that. But yes, you can get involved.
Now, before we go on, the magic wand to make Murfreesboro and its square second to none in the United States. And I have to make a comment. And I can recall when Main Street first began, because I was a city manager of Southern California, and downtown redevelopment, utilizing federal and state and local funds to redevelop the downtowns, was a priority to respond, as you said, to the rush to the suburbs. And I can remember Main Street, the Main Street organization was one of the most phenomenal tools that we in the city could use as public information, use as the public-private partnership in order to get things done. So I have the fondest memories and the highest regard for the Main Street concept. So you're here initially because tomorrow night will be a red letter day for Murfreesboro.
Yes.
Talk about it and get us all excited, motivated, and enthused.
Okay, well, I get the privilege of coordinating the Friday Night Live concerts, and this is the fourth and final one for the year.
Oh, when you said final, it's what?
No,
you
not
mean for
final,
the year?
just for the year.
Okay.
They've all been on the first Friday of June, July, August, but then in September we change it up a little bit because Labor Day weekend, and MTSU sponsors this month's concert with Wilson Bank and Trust. They're the premier sponsor, and they always want it to be on the weekend of the first home football game.
Wow.
And so we plan it around their schedule, and it fell on this weekend. And so tomorrow night the concert will be happening on the square at 6:30. It lasts till 9:30. And if you've never been, the square is shut down once businesses kind of close down around 5:30, usually 5:30. The police will kind of start shutting just the inner square down, and people put their chairs right out on Church Street, going up to Main Street.
Is it on the east side of the
Yes.
county courthouse?
Facing MTSU, that side.
Is there a
So
stage?
we have a huge stage. Concert production sets it up all day Friday, and sound system. And this band, Ultimate Oldies, they've performed all over. A lot of people in Murfreesboro know them. They've been recommended to me for quite a while. And there's like 14 members in the band, and they change costumes, and they do decades. So they're starting, I think, with the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Well,
and
the 50s would be where I would be attracted to.
Well,
and
there you go.
Having been a rock and roll DJ where the 50s music was the highlight, this is where I would be.
Well, and we have a great dance floor. People it's so organic, and that people just kind of start coming, and they know where to set their chairs up, and they leave the whole front area in front of the stage open to dancing, and people just start dancing, and they dance until it stops at 9:30. It's so fun.
Are there restaurants open that one can bring their food with them, or a picnic basket? Or?
We have all the restaurants open on the square, so we say come early, get supper. We have a couple of food trucks. Just so people don't, if there's long lines or anything in the restaurants, there's other options. And so, but there's even more stuff happening tomorrow night than just music.
Please, what?
The art crawl is
right.
coming downtown, and Main Street partners with the art crawl. We're very involved in that group, and so we've got like 25 artists that are going to come and set up around on the sidewalks. There's going to be some artists inside some businesses.
Primarily local, or
they're all local artists,
okay,
all
great.
from Rutherford County. They have to apply and be vetted through the art crawl program, and they come and they don't have to pay anything. We're just supporting, artists, struggling artists.
Do they
and
sell from there?
They sell their work. That's right. So they set up a table, and you can just listen to the music and walk around the square and go into the stores. They'll be open and support, retail and home decor, and also get your filling of arts.
Wow, and I think I heard in detail this morning the weather report that the weather Friday night should be wonderful. Possibly rain on Saturday, but not on Friday night.
Yes, it's going to be so beautiful. And
bring a jacket or a sweater.
That's right.
It'll be in the 50s.
Yes, and you can bring a cooler with food and drink and just sit on this out on the street and enjoy with your family. So go get your food at a restaurant, and well, that's what we would want you to do.
I would be curious. Now, this shows my age, I'm afraid, but I'd be curious as the music plays becomes newer per decade, is there less dancing?
No.
They dance to any decade is what you're saying.
And there's all ages and all demographics. That's what I love about Friday Night Live concerts. You see the mix of our community. Multiple races, multiple ages. You've got 5-year-olds out there dancing with 70-year-olds and teenagers, college students coming and setting up a blanket and just enjoying community. And so everybody is welcome. It is a very friendly, inviting space. We've never had issue with conflict during our concerts. The city police are out there all over the place making sure we're safe. And so it's just a beautiful picture.
And you said, if my math is right, it's 2.5 hours of music. If you're
more than that, 6:30 to 9:30.
Oh,
so
3
3 hours of music. We take a little break
of course,
about 7:45. Which tomorrow the Rutherford Arts Alliance is going to come during that break, and they have 2 groups from MTSU that are going to do special dance performances, and the city vice mayor. Bill Shacklett is going to come up on stage and do a proclamation of a National Dance Day for Rutherford County.
Is Bill going to dance?
Well, I hope he does.
Would you ask him on
He's going to take
behalf of
pictures for me.
Oh,
So.
of course.
But I will. I'll ask him to dance.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell him that he's been formally requested from the Roundtable WGNS that Bill has to dance, and his sister has to dance.
I know Gloria will be out there.
Gloria, yes, absolutely. So, this will be your last one for 2023.
That's right.
And then you start planning for 2024.
Yes.
Does it get bigger and bigger, or is it still small town that allows you to be close enough that you see, close enough that you hear, and you're not sitting back 300 yards away?
Well, it is still small. I mean, but number-wise, we've been counting around an average of 2,000 to 3,000 people at the event, but it only goes back as far as people fill the inner circle of the courthouse, and then they go out onto Church Street all the way to the corner of Main Street.
How early do they get there?
Oh my goodness!
Early tomorrow morning.
Some people get there in the late afternoon and put their chair down.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and so but the music concert productions does such a great job, so you can see the stage no matter where you are. You can hear it, all over.
110%. That is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Parking, which is always a question.
Yes, there's never been an issue with parking. They shut the square down, so we don't encourage people to park around the inner circle, or you will be stuck until after 9:30.
Sure.
But we've got a great parking garage at the City Hall, Plaza, and it's exactly 1 block over, and you can just cross Vine Street and enter into the square, or all along the streets on the outside of the square. And there's no time limit for parking, of course, on the weekends or in the evening.
What are some of the restaurants that people could consider?
I
know you may miss one or two, but why don't we just take a memory walk starting at one part of the square?
Yeah,
let's walk from Church west along the square and see where we go.
Okay, so you can definitely go to Puckett's and Hattie
Puckett's, of
Jane's.
course.
Everybody goes
let's
and
start
gets
at
ice cream.
stop at Puckett's and the ice cream.
Yes.
So you get a nice barbecued sandwich.
That's right. And they have to-go things. They just for Friday Night Live.
And you know, it's interesting with the weather. The ice cream won't melt by the time you
That's
get there.
true.
See, if this was in July and you went
You'd
to
have to
buy
eat it
an
fast.
ice cream cone, you're going to have it all over you by the time you get to your chair. So we're at Puckett's and their ice cream store next door.
Mm-hmm.
And now we proceed west on the square.
Okay, West is going to. Okay, so you've got Liquid Smoke if you want to drink. You can go over there. They don't have food. And then if you cross over onto Maple, oh my goodness, you have a plethora. You have a brand new restaurant, Burrow and Brews.
What do they like?
Oh, they're going to have eventually, I think they're waiting on their liquor license. They're doing a soft opening this month. But whiskey and fine steak and tenderloin and fish. And so it's going to be an upscale restaurant. But they have things like chicken wraps and hamburgers.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Huh?
Yeah, and the windows open up. I don't know if you've seen it. They're behind Whiskey Dick's.
Gotcha.
So it's a beautiful interior that they've done.
You're now giving me the sense that you can be walking around the square tomorrow evening in the aromas.
Oh, it's going to be
food cooking
yes.
of different types of food. I don't think there'll be a collision of aromas, but the hamburgers.
Every
cooking.
few feet, you'll get a different whiff.
Absolutely.
And then you cross the street at Maple, and you've got Marina's, which everybody loves if you want some Italian. Then you've got Wall Street again for drinks, and then Jack Brown's, which is famous for their hamburgers. Don't ask for lettuce and tomato because they'll scorn you.
Really, they just want the pure.
They have specialty hamburgers and then just a plain hamburger, which is absolutely delicious.
And I'm the kind that says if I see anybody order a hamburger that is cooked more than medium rare, I'm going to say something. You've got to see enough red in the hamburger.
Okay.
That's me.
That's funny.
When I see somebody, I like it well done.
Yeah,
oh, you can
that's
have
good
meat
advice.
stew.
There you go. Oflo is a new coffee and bakery that will be open, and they're hosting an artist for the art crawl
For tomorrow night?
Yes, and they're beside Jack Brown's, and then you just keep walking. You've got Domenico's. They have the Italian deli sandwiches.
Wow,
which is delicious.
Like
That's
a
when you
Subway,
cross
or
over.
is it like a?
It is, but I hate to even compare them
that's
because
true.
it's
It stands by
they're
its own.
so good. You can go down the street to the alley, of course,
Oh,
and have a
absolutely.
nice, fine dinner. Even Happy Sports Lounge, if you want some entertainment, they have great food as well and a bar. And then, okay, so go back up Church Street. You're on Maple.
I'm already filled up.
You're crossed over, and we've got two more. We've got two more.
Oh,
We've got
God. Keep on.
Joni's.
Oh, and Joni's is the
Joni's
one that
with
was highlighted on
delicious
Tennessee
food.
Crossroads here a
Yes.
few months back.
Jason Day has done a fabulous job with that
And
restaurant.
It's named after his mother, if I remember
Yes, it
the
is.
story right.
But he actually has alcoholic drinks, coffee drinks, and food. And then beside him, Red Bicycle, they have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all the ones that will be open tomorrow night.
Well, that's certainly a whole collection.
Yes.
It is. Where are you going to go to eat?
I usually am so nervous and
Oh,
high energy, I can't eat anything.
Until after it's done, and then you
Yeah,
slowly
9:30.
start
The hot
phasing
dog
down.
guy gives me a hot dog because he comes and sets up.
Phasing down, and I'm assuming restrooms are open throughout.
We have porta potties. We'll
Okay.
have 4 porta potties. If people were a little bit upset about a wait last month, we've gotten an extra one, and it's over in the Bank of America parking lot. The courthouse bathrooms are closed during the
Okay.
concert because we have so many people, and that's just a new regulation.
And is the courthouse itself closed?
It is.
I
It is
understand.
closed after hours for safety reasons. But you can go to any restaurant, of course, and use their restroom.
Fantastic, and great opportunity to take children, take grandparents,
Yes.
everybody down the line. Let's switch slightly. You've now been with Main Street, Murfreesboro, 4 years. If you had a magic wand, we're going to just do a little bit of dreaming for a moment. A magic wand, and it could suddenly make anything and everything exactly what your dream and what your focus may be. What would you like to see downtown Murfreesboro look like in 5 or maybe 10 years?
That's a beautiful question. I would love to see Murfreesboro as a more walkable downtown that stretched out past just the square, which I think is what's happening with development coming. The renovation, the revitalization of the outside of the downtown, so like coming in from Broad Street, there's some eyesores there, which I think will be changing with development on the Broad Street area. But just to make it more of a beautiful entrance to the downtown so people know, like, oh, driving down Broad Street, there's the Murfreesboro downtown area. Let's go there. And then with development in 5 to 10 years, more space for small businesses that want to be downtown, those business owners in our community who want to start a business to have the opportunity, because it is hard to find space now.
We'll continue this in just a moment. We've got to take a break,
Okay.
but we're with Sarah Callender, who is the Executive Director of Main Street Murfreesboro. Hearing all about tomorrow night, put that on your calendar.
Yes.
Put that on your day reminder. Write it on your palm of your hand, and don't let the washed hands wipe the ink off. And we shall return to hear more about downtown Murfreesboro.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Hey guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Schedule your health assessment at Low T Center, where they now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for only $155 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near a Low T Center or just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Be a part of the upcoming Middle Point Landfill Open House on Wednesday, September 20th at MTSU in the North Commons, outside the Student Union Building. Our Open House series provides a behind-the-scenes look at Middle Point's operations and our role in the community. What's our approach to managing waste? We hope to have the opportunity to answer that question for you and perhaps other questions you may have at our next open house on the 20th of this month.
The Middle Point Open House. Learn more at middlepointlandfill.com.
French's Shoes and Boots is the #1 place in Tennessee to find the latest Southern styles at unbelievable prices. We know you work hard for your money, so when searching for high-quality footwear that won't let you down, French's has you covered. We have a huge selection of casual and work shoes and boots at the best prices in town, guaranteed.
It makes good sense to shop at French's. French's Shoes and Boots.
1837 South Church Street in Murfreesboro.
Make it a happy new year. Become the Powerball First Millionaire of the Year, announced live on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. Enter to win a VIP trip for 2 to New York that will include a 3-night stay at a luxurious Times Square hotel, a chance at $1 million, and more. Enter any Powerball ticket at tnviprewards.com by October 31st. From the Tennessee Lottery, game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Patronize those local family businesses. It makes for a stronger community. There is a grief support group every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. That's Wednesday mornings at 10. And now, on Thursday mornings, a morning walk right there at the pavilion at Oakland's Park, next to Oakland's Mansion. And that's every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. The Top Gun Night Run is this Friday night, 7:30, over at the Lee Victory Park in Smyrna. 7:30 this Friday night. The runner's fee is $50. Check with the Smyrna Parks and Recreation Department. Again, the Top Gun Night Run is at 7:30 this Friday night over at the Lee Victory Park in Smyrna. Oh, the Friday Night Market and Food Truck Festival is on the lawn at the Patterson Community Center from 5 until 9 this Friday night. And that continues through the end of this month. Remember, the Kittrell School reunion is this Saturday. We'll tell you more in a moment. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good neighbor weather. We'll see sunny skies here this afternoon with a high in the mid-80s. Northeast winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 56. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 58.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE's Drive EV program has resources for members who would like to learn more about all aspects of EVs. MTE is developing programs and educational materials to answer member questions. Learn more at driveev.com.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Good morning again. Bill Krause with the WGNS Roundtable for the delightful Thursday morning. We are having a lovely, lovely visit with Sarah Callender. It's almost like Marie, but Sarah Callender, who is the executive director the past 4 years of Main Street Nashville. A real
Main Street Murfreesboro.
I know. I don't know why Nashville's on the mind. I think with our off-air discussion, I can see. So, Main Street Murfreesboro. And we were talking about if she had a magic wand to make downtown Murfreesboro the center, or the geographic center of the state of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So why not become the retail, the shop, the boutique, the dining center of Middle Tennessee right here in Murfreesboro. So your vision includes what else? You were just starting some wonderful shared comments.
Yeah. So I said, more walkability, more space for all the business owners that would love to be downtown. I'm an advocate for more living spaces downtown. Throughout the nation, they have shown that it helps a downtown to thrive when you have people that live in the downtown and can walk to shop and eat and participate in events downtown. And they're invested in your downtown when they live there. So I understand, there's some projects that are on the list for City Council. They just approved one last week with the Broad Street redevelopment. And so there'll be some more spaces. And we're advocating for the upstairs of buildings that are empty right now. The city's trying to work with building owners to encourage them to renovate those spaces and have more livable spaces around our downtown. So that's a neat thing to wish for.
Well, one of the things at Murfreesboro, like many traditional Tennessee towns with squares, they ultimately became government centers. So a lot of the traffic to the square now is either visiting City Hall for city business or visiting the county courthouse for county business or the judicial center for judicial business. So what you're seeing and what the city is looking for is to diversify so it becomes a point of attraction, a point of destination for non-governmental activities as well. Bringing in residents who want to be in an area that they can walk to rather than drive to. In a area where residents have an opportunity to include the downtown as part of their daily lives. Take a daily walk and pick up a piece of baking at a particular bakery or have a cup of coffee at a particular coffee house as a regular routine. You almost have to ask the question, will it be pet friendly? if we're going to have residents, will downtown be pet friendly?
That's a good question.
I don't know whether that has been thought at this point, but I guess.
Well, just come to the farmers market on Saturday, and you would see that it is very pet friendly. I don't know what they do with their pets, but most of them seem very responsible around the courthouse grounds. I mean, they've done such a great job of renovating the courthouse and the landscaping, and so I know they're very particular about that. And people seem respectful on Saturdays when they have their dogs at the farmers market.
Talk about the farmers market. We've been spending on Friday night. Again, a reminder for all, by all means, put down on your schedule. Tomorrow night, it's a date beginning at 6:30 through 9:30 with wonderful music, great food, lovely friendships and community and neighbor to neighbor right in the square at Murfreesboro. It's the last one for 2023, so be sure, come early, bring that most comfortable outdoor chair with you, and be ready to enjoy an evening that you will leave at 9:30 saying, wow, that was sensational. But then the next morning is Farmers Market. Talk about Farmers Market for a little while.
We transformed the courthouse from music to agriculture. And we have about 75 vendors that show up, and they set up all around the inner circle of the courthouse from 8 to noon every Saturday. It lasts until the end of October. And we have some huge farmers that come and bring their produce, and we've got some tiny
You don't mean
vendors.
large farmers. I'm seeing a farmer who weighs 400 pounds.
No,
not that kind of a huge
I mean,
farmer.
they have
know,
lots of acres of land.
I'm teasing you.
And but great produce and multiple.
What's your favorite?
Oh, I have to get a tomato every Saturday.
Big,
tomato and lettuce. Those are my two things I always buy. And the farmers market is such a neat thing because over the years, we have seen vendors who've started out there and they have grown to the point where then they get a brick and mortar place and they expand. We've seen collaborations between vendors, like an example, Doey's Bagels. These two guys just did this on the side. They make these New York style bagels.
Wow.
They came to the farmers market. Then we were able to find them a space in a kitchen that had where the restaurant owner had moved out just on the square. And so they use that kitchen space to now kind of mass produce their bagels. They're not at the point yet of opening a store, but they're able to be supported, by this kitchen space downtown, the farmers market, and now they sell their bagels to other restaurants downtown that sell their bagels. And there's lots of stories like that with Simply Pure Bakery. Matthew, who makes the homemade bread there, I mean, he now sells his bread to other restaurants because of the collaboration. And partly, I mean, they're at the farmers market and they've made these connections with other people, other business owners.
And it's hard to realize, but it's important to share. As we see Rutherford County, we see much of Middle Tennessee growing. And we see population increases, we see traffic increases. We look upon ourselves as a city now with 150,000 people, Rutherford County with 1/3 people in the county. And we forget that we still are a significant center for farming. And agriculture is extraordinarily important throughout Tennessee, but still in Rutherford County and the surrounding counties, agriculture still is a major, major player. So the farmers market reflects the fact that here we are. This is not just Rutherford County's history. This is Rutherford County's today.
It is. And those farmers, they depend on the farmers market to make their living, to pay their bills.
Wow.
So we don't cancel the market unless it's lightning, which we've not canceled one. I think we did one last year because of huge storms, but we are there, rain or shine, because those vendors depend on their livelihood for people to come and buy their produce.
And they can't store it. They have to sell it immediately if it's going to remain fresh. What are some of the other items that you can think of at the farmers market besides the tomatoes and lettuce and the bagels?
There's a plethora of stuff. There's honey. honey, there's jams, everything's homemade. And then there's interesting things like salves and herbs and tonics that are made homemade for everything from mosquito bites to pain. There's bakeries, baked goods, of course. And then we've added an element after COVID. We added this to kind of grow the market, is arts and crafts. And so there's lots of homemade craft items. We even have plants, some people who grow like classy cactus. I don't know if you know the story about the young man who started that during COVID. These little cactuses, and he did that with his mom. He was like 10 years old or something. And that business has just grown. And they're at the farmer's market selling plants. So flowers, you can pretty much get everything you need. And meat, there's, cattle, what do you call that? That naturally grazed.
Oh, okay.
The cattle that no hormones, things
cattle
like that.
That have been fed well.
Yes, grass-fed cattle. So they're there. The Wagyu steak people are there.
Are any of the restaurants open in the morning?
Oh, they are.
Cup of coffee.
Yes. City Cafe, you've got to wait in line to
absolutely.
get breakfast on Saturday morning there. But we've got so many bakeries that are open around downtown, and they're open. And a lot of our businesses will come to the farmers market. They're all allowed to come. And set up a tent just to promote themselves. And the retail businesses will open early on Saturdays to bring in people that are coming to the farmers market.
Do they ever have entertainment?
We do. We have people play, but they play acoustically. We don't have a sound system.
Sure.
We have a famous young lady, Sophie Buck, who's a senior at MTSU.
Wow.
She's there often, and she plays the fiddle. The most talented woman, and lots. We always have a music person there, though. So you can just bring a blanket and sit on the grass with your dog and eat your breakfast and buy your food for the week.
I hope nobody is thinking of what I'm thinking. You come Friday night, you camp out, and you stay Saturday morning.
We don't want people camping
No,
out.
I could see a problem of suddenly 1,000 people are camped out by the courthouse after 9:30 Friday night, waiting for 8:30 Saturday morning.
The police might have something to say about that.
Absolutely. Is there a good linkage? It would appear to me that students who are housed at MTSU, and it's Saturday morning, and a good opportunity to fill that little fridge in the dorm room or the apartment. Is there a good linkage with MTSU on the farmers market?
MTSU Milk, their ag department, they come have their milk truck. They have grown because of the farmers market. That's a great collaboration between MTSU and our Saturday market. And this year we've even expanded it to they have a farm at not just the dairy farm, but they have an agricultural farm at MTSU, and they now come and sell their produce. So students are selling their lettuce, and they've got some really neat produce that they sell that they grow on campus in a greenhouse even. So some people will be like, how is this growing right now? And it's because they have it in a greenhouse.
Do you want to, we talked about this off air, do you want to define actually the limits of Main Street, Murfreesboro, what neighborhoods or what areas it covers? Not necessarily precisely street by street by street bordering it, but the general area.
Right. So the historic downtown business district is a 30-block radius, as Main Street defines it. And you could picture all the way from Broad Street to Junior's Foodland, then crossing over to Oakland's Mansion. They're kind of a standalone because there's a lot of housing, down that street, down Maney Avenue, and then over to the corner of Memorial. We've got some businesses, F&M Bank right there on the corner, and the Bug Man, those businesses. There are over 500 businesses, and they're all locally owned, small business owners, people who live here in our community.
We will be right back, concluding our visit with Sarah Callender, who is the executive director of Main Street, Murfreesboro. Didn't say Nashville this time, Murfreesboro, who really has some exciting perspectives and exciting experiences that we can all be so proud of this endeavor. We'll be right back.
Do you like to shop, to hang out with friends? Do you like to walk around the historic downtown? Sip, Shop, and Stroll is Thursday night, September 21st. Shopping from 5 to 8 p.m. with treats in each business. Multiple restaurants open. Invite a friend or take a date and plan to come downtown.
Clothes, gifts, and home decor.
Downtown has it. Sip, Shop, and Stroll. Thursday, September 21st.
Sip, Shop, and Stroll on the downtown square on the 21st from 5 to 8.
Support local businesses in the historic downtown Murfreesboro.
Get ready to unleash your inner Blue Raider spirit and make some noise at Floyd Stadium this season. Lock in your seat with season tickets starting at a jaw-dropping $99. Don't miss a single snap, heart-stopping touchdown, or electrifying atmosphere. Snag your tickets now. Go BlueRaiders.com/tickets. And don't forget to take your radios and listen at the game to FM 101.9 or AM 1450. WGNS, the flagship station for MTSU sports. Let's go Blue!
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
Hi, this is Bob Cornell, pastor of Covenant Church right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The answer that you've been looking for is found in Jesus and what he accomplished at the cross. You see, Jesus changes lives from the inside out. We would love for you to join us at Covenant Church, located at 1124 Brinkley Ave right here in Murfreesboro. We have services Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. You can learn more about us at our Cornell Ministries YouTube channel. We want you to grow in Christ at Covenant Church.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
This is Bill Krause once again for our final segment of the Roundtable, WGNS Roundtable, on a wonderful, thrilling Thursday morning. And we have had a highly informative and, I have to say, equally motivating visit with Sarah Callender, who is the Executive Director of the Main Street Murfreesboro. And we've talked about tomorrow night, Friday night, phenomenal event, Saturday, the Farmers Market. And now there's something next week, too.
That's
Sarah has a
right.
whole bag of events.
Next Thursday. So we've been focused on arts and entertainment, then produce and agriculture, and now we're going to focus on shopping and small businesses. So
Excellent.
September 21st is our Sip, Shop, and Stroll Thursday evening.
That's SIP, S-I-P.
People have such a hard time saying
Sip.
that. I don't
well,
know
I'm
why.
just thinking of sipping. Okay.
Yes, sipping. There are beverages to drink in the different stores and little tastes, for you to enjoy. But the shops stay open later, so that's the whole point of the event. So it's from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and you walk around downtown and you get to indulge in all of our wonderful retail and home decor, and just there's such a different variety of stores that are open, and of course all the restaurants, and we've got lots of entertainment downtown that you can partake in, from axe throwing to mini
Axe
bowling.
throwing?
Yes, we've got it all downtown. Oh my goodness. But from 5 to 8 next Thursday is the Sip, Shop, and Stroll, so the stores will be open.
I don't know if this has been in your agenda of thought or dream or plan or process, but as you were talking about this event, my memory went back to many years ago in the city of Santa Barbara, California, and they had a highly successful chocolate festival. And all of the restaurants and shops had their different types of chocolate specialty. And people forget that many, many, many people are chocoholics in one form or another. And you'd buy a ticket and you could get 7 different samples, whether it was a candy or whether it was a milkshake or what have you, and you would have chocolate for the entire festival.
Oh my goodness.
Wouldn't
There's
a
so
chocolate-
many ideas
oh,
for festivals.
chocolate festival in Murfreesboro.
Do you know what I say when people come up with festival ideas?
What's that?
I say, well, I hope you can plan that, and good luck to you.
Well, let me put my thinking cap
There
on.
you go.
And, just when you were giving the listing of the different restaurants and the different retailers in the square and in and around the square, I thought, there may be enough to have a chocolate festival.
That's true. There are lots of different events that happen downtown where other groups come in. So something like that, Wine Around the Square, people often think that's a Main Street event. That is a fundraiser for St. Thomas Hospital. And so they raise money through that event and close the square down. And you can walk around to all the shops that are open. You can shop, but you get tastes of wine for that to raise money for that event. So that's a fun one in October. And then I know like Cooking to Build with I just forgot, Habitat for Humanity. They have that event the first weekend in November. There's lots of groups that come and have events.
I'm assuming your website highlights all the upcoming events.
We do. So mainstreetmurfreesboro.org. We have a calendar that you can click on and see different events that are happening downtown. There's a page with all the businesses that are listed in categories, so you can see. And we produce a downtown business map. That's a beautiful thing that you can get in different stores downtown for free.
What is so special about downtown Murfreesboro, besides the fact that it is one of the wonderful highlighted central communities of Tennessee, or the South, I could even expand, but more importantly, so many of these businesses are family owned.
They are.
They've been generation to generation. They're your neighbor. There are those you see at church. There are those who may live next door. So it's literally your neighbors putting their best foot forward in terms of promoting. If you were identifying businesses that are not downtown right now, I don't mean the particular name, but the type of business, what type of business should we be looking at to attract to downtown?
We definitely are trying to bring in more retail, more shopping locations, so that people that do walk around have more options. You go to the mall or the avenue and you have multiple stores to shop retail. I think that's what a lot of people are wanting more of downtown. We don't want more lawyers' offices. We want more buildings that host businesses where people can come in and shop or interact and have entertainment. We're becoming quite the destination for eating, and that's a wonderful thing, and we can be known for that. So we've got a couple new restaurants that are moving in downtown or have just opened, and so I think that's really going to put us on the map for a destination place. But it would be great to be supported with more retail.
Well, let's take the day Sunday. Certainly it's a day of faith, a day of religion, a day of taking life easy. But what does downtown look like or could look like on a Sunday?
Oh, it's a quiet downtown, honestly, on Sundays. And I do not judge anybody for closing their business because they are working 6 days a week. And so to have one day off, I understand. But it would be neat to have more businesses open for people, because people do come and eat at the restaurants. A lot of our restaurants are open on Sundays. And so to have more retail open, it would be neat for people to have places to shop. And a lot of them do actually open on Sunday afternoons during the holiday season because there are more people downtown.
Are we going to see some major events, activities for Christmas?
Oh my goodness, we'd have to have a whole nother show for that.
Well,
Can I do a super fast preview? So just in October alone, we've got these sculptures that are coming downtown with the Seward Johnson Foundation. They're life-size sculptures. They're going to be placed around different areas. So you need to be looking out for that. And we've got scarecrows that are going to be lining the sidewalk.
They won't scare the people
No,
away.
they're all going to be family-friendly. It's a scarecrow contest. But then once November hits, we've got a huge holiday shopping event the first Friday in November. I believe it's November 3rd. And so we have carriage rides, and we have all the stores open, so you can come downtown. And then the Christmas tree lighting is the very first Friday, December 1st. And we have a stage set up. We have kids singing. We have dancers. Santa comes on a fire truck. There's free pictures in the courthouse. The tree is lit. It's picturesque. You want to come to that.
Have all or most of the stores done exterior decorating as
They
well?
do during the holidays, so they'll start decorating for fall, and then as soon as Halloween with trick or treat around the square, as that the 31st. As soon as that day is over, boom, it turns into Christmas downtown.
Any events that have hot cider and cookies?
Christmas tree lighting.
Okay.
Pinnacle Bank sets up and gives free hot cocoa at that event. They probably give 1,000 cups of hot cocoa away.
Fantastic.
Yes.
It's just, and you begin to think of this and you begin to see, one thing, as you were discussing earlier, the geographic limits of downtown Nashville, downtown Murfreesboro, is the fact that immediately to the east, the historical Murfreesboro, the old stately homes on East Main.
Oh, yes.
And the trees.
And isn't fall the most beautiful time to drive down
So
Main
there's
Street?
a partnership, if you may, between Murfreesboro residents and Murfreesboro commercial. The slogan that I used to always use for towns certainly makes it so applicable to this community. A community proud of its past, yet confident of its future. And that certainly ties itself into downtown Murfreesboro.
Love that.
As you were talking before our last break about what you see in this community in 5 years, let's say Sarah has that magic wand that she presses on downtown. You see the charm. You don't see a bulldozer coming down and taking all the buildings down and building brand new 20-story glass facilities and so forth. The quaintness, I'm sure, as we talked off the air, you are in close concert and partnership with the city of Murfreesboro on its project revitalization, the Broad Street and the downtown project. You see Broad Street as turning into the entryway into downtown.
Yes.
Easier traffic access, the front door, the front gate of downtown off Broad Street. Do you see anything else along the way that may attract people?
I think what you said is so essential. The preservation, that's what people want to see when they travel. If they have that mindset, they don't want to go to a chain. They want to go to something that's distinct for that community. And so to promote the preservation of our historic downtown, to help building owners and encourage them to renovate their building and keep that historic look, is what Main Street is all about. So even with new development, we are advocates to the city to keep that, maintain that design, that look that ties into the historic downtown. Now, you can't copy history, but you can have that in mind with design elements and guidelines so that we don't have a large glass building built right on our square, and we definitely don't want buildings torn down.
I know it was a question I probably should have asked Councilman Wade and Sam Huddleston last week. Is there an effort with this downtown not only to encourage but to somehow with the building department work in a partnership to make the second floors residential on many of these older buildings, that they become, if not lofts, they become single-family residential on the second floor?
They are working on that, actually. They're doing... they're analyzing the different buildings and getting some data to see what buildings have a second story and what would need to be done to bring in water lines to have.
Sewer lines,
they have to
of course.
have fire sprinklers in the ceilings of those buildings if somebody was to live upstairs. So the city has already started that project, and they are working with potential building owners.
Well, there's been the concept, which is very big in Europe, where you have residents on the second floor, shops on the first floor, and it's been very successful, and people walk and walk and walk.
Yes.
It's been so wonderful to have with us this morning
Thanks.
Sarah Callender, who is the executive director of Main Street Murfreesboro.
That's right.
And has shared with us events and activities. Looks almost like year-round, even when the weather gets rainy and cold.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
wintry.
We're always busy.
Always. Come back and see us
Thank
as
you
we get
so
before
much.
Christmas. And we
I'll see you tomorrow night on the dance
You most
floor.
hopefully will when I'm done with class.
Okay.
We will see you later. Bye now.
Bye.